Music is just for background. You don't have to worry about staying with the beat or anything like that. So our warm-up is going to be basically just some mobility. Okay. Big exaggerated marches in place. You're going to feel silly. That's okay. I'm going to turn to the side. Here, here. So you're lifting your leg up so your thigh is parallel or close to the floor. Lift, lift. And just move your arms like this too. Let's get a little shoulder mobility in while you're at it. Slow knee lifts. Don't rush these. Lift, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, comfortable squat stance, whatever that looks like for you. For me, that is feet just outside my hips, fingertips behind the ears. Squat down and up. Don't worry too much about the depth of your squat. Okay, just warming up. I'd like you to keep your elbows out. This is going to force you to keep your chest lifted. We're doing both squatting and hinging today. One of the most common mistakes I see people make is they think they're doing a squat and they're actually doing a hinge. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Keep your hands where they are. If your feet were wider, go ahead and bring them in so your feet are underneath your hips. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Now push your butt back as you tip forward. Here's the hinge. Notice my back is really flat, a little bit of a bend in the knee, but a really big bend in the hip, and lift back up. So I like to keep your hands like this as well. That means that you're not going to collapse through the shoulders. So make sure you're not hinging like this. This is not a hinge. This is just you rounding your back. Pretend like someone's behind you and you are pushing your butt back into them. So we talk about hinging. This is your deadlift position. This really works all down the back of your body. Lower back, glutes, hamstrings especially. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now leg swings. If you need help with balance, you've got a chair close by. Use it. Kick it forward and back. Leg is straight in the front. Bend the knee, kind of kick yourself in the butt in the back. You don't have to put a lot of effort into this. Once you get going, you just kind of let momentum take over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we do those windshield wipers like we did in boot camp. Hold on, sweep it side to side. Windshield wipers, soccer kicks, whatever you want to call it. We're just moving laterally, side to side instead of front to back. Again, getting your hips nice and loose. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now switch sides. Again, use the chair if you've got it. Forward and back. Get that leg going, leg is straight in the front. Bend the knee, kick yourself in the butt in the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now side to side. Little windshield wiper or soccer kick. I like to say soccer kick. I want you to imagine that when you sweep it over, you're hitting with the inside of your foot. That kind of reminds you to keep your toe forward. So when you sweep out, I don't want your toe turning out like this. I want it here. Toe forward. Toe stays forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hip circles. Actually, you can keep this if you think you need it for balance. Like you're stepping over a little fence. Put that leg up and over, and then close the gate. Up and over, close the gate. One more. I'm doing 5 on each side. And switch. Again, hold on to something if you need help with balance. Open it up and close it. Two for me. I'm going for 5. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Inchworm. Last thing for your warm up. If your hamstrings at the back of your legs are really tight, you can take your feet a little bit wider. You can also bend your knees a little bit more for this. So flat back when you come down. Fingertips walk down the legs. Reach for the floor. Bring it all the way out. Now hold your plank for a second. You can be here or you can come to the knees, your choice. and then walk it back in. When you come up, keep that flat back, rise up, stand up tall, repeat. 30 seconds. This is like my favorite thing to do in the warm-up because you're getting full body work right here. Heart rate starts to come up a little bit. Inchworms take some effort. 15 seconds. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are going to get started with your work. Let me turn my phone off so people don't quit texting me. Okay, your first 2 sets. We do a set of glute work, set of core work. These first 2 sets, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. In that 20 seconds, I'm going to show you what's coming next. So your first move, we're going to do a narrow and then a wider squat. Narrow, your feet can be all the way together or they can be a little bit separate, up to you. You're going to come down, and then without coming all the way up, step out a little bit wider, and then come back to center. Okay? So we're not standing all the way up in between the transition. That's going to create the burn. Depth of your squat is up to you. 40 seconds. Go. So narrow, wide, narrow, wide. Now don't go super wide, because remember, if you remember in boot camp, if you go really wide with the squat, you have to turn your toes out. I want you to just go basically outside the hips so your toes can stay pretty much forward, maybe a little bit turned out. And a reminder, any type of squat we do today, you need to keep your heels down. Do not let your knees come forward. Do not let your heels come off the floor. Okay? Really bad for your knees. Heels always stay on the ground. You can do whatever you want to do with your arms. Chest stays up, butt comes down. And done. Now, you're going to hold basically like half of a squat. So here, right, not a full squat, but about halfway. As big of a lateral step as you can make. I can fit 2 in. You want it to be wide enough so that you feel it in your hip. Ready? Go! Get down. So we're staying low again the whole time. Big step, big step. Now, if you don't have a ton of room, just do 1 step. Maybe you're here and then right back. And it's all about how far you can reach that foot out. Your toes are pointing forward. You're staying low in that half squat the whole time. So you should start to feel some burn back here. Butt down, chest up, 10 seconds. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Rest, come on up. Squat with the leg lift. Your toes are always forward. Don't let your toe turn out to the side like this. Comfortable squat stance, squat, lift. And we're gonna alternate sides. That's it. I've got my feet under the hips, chest up, down, lift. Now when you lift your leg, make sure you're not doing this. You don't want to tilt over to the side just to get your leg up higher. You want to stay as upright as you can, lift the leg, toe forward. You should feel that right here. Okay, these are your abductors, that outer part of your hip. Lift, down, lift. Remember, torso upright. Only lift your leg to the point where you can feel that little kind of pinch in your hip there. Remember, it doesn't have to be super high. Lost my balance. And we're done. That was block 1. Moving on to block 2. Coming down to the floor. I'm going to come down to my mat. You don't have to have a mat, so feel free to use one if you've got it. Okay. Lying on our back, 3 different moves to target different areas of your abdominals. Move number 1, this is called a reverse crunch. You lie on your back, bring your feet up. I want you to pretend that you're trying to stamp a footprint on the ceiling. So this is about lifting the butt off the floor and hitting your lower abs. Palms next to your hips. You lift back down. It's really just a couple of inches. You're not going to have a huge range of motion. Try not to rock too much like this. It's a real short, sharp movement. Okay, reverse crunch, 40 seconds, and go. Lift, back down. So I'm trying to minimize how much I'm rocking. Stamping my feet into the ceiling, pressing my hands into the mat for a little bit of leverage. Lift. This is a move that's harder than it looks. Again, target is your lower abs. Think kind of below your belly button. Lift. Remember, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Here's your rest. Drop your feet to the floor. Now, upper part of a crunch, lift your shoulder blades off the mat, extend your arms. You're gonna stay in this position and you're gonna reach for the outside of your calf, side to side. It's called an oblique crunch reach. Ready, 40 seconds. Reach, reach. So because we are lifting the upper part of our body up, you should feel this crunch more in your upper abs, a little bit different positioning. And then we're just adding that reach. So you feel it right here in your side, that's your obliques working. Now how far you reach is up to you. You don't have to be able to basically reach your foot, you just need to feel that little crunch in your side. 10 seconds. One more ab move for block 2. 3, 2, 1. Now, this is called a dead bug. Legs up, arms up. Opposite arm and leg, reach out toward the floor. Then you bring it back in and switch. To make this easier, you can bend your knees and bring your heel to the floor instead. Go, 40 seconds. Press your lower back into the floor. Don't let your lower back come up. You really just drop your leg as far as you can without letting your lower back come off the floor. So you might stop here. That's fine. When you get a stronger core, you'll be able to take your leg and your arm all the way down. Remember, opposites. Left arm, right leg. Bring it back. Left leg, right arm. To think about it really hard before I said it. Again, this is called a dead bug. One of my favorite ab exercises. Slow and controlled. Don't rush these. And we're done. Come on up. Block 2. Finished. Moving on. So for block 3, going back to your glute work, this is where you probably want to have your chair. We're going to be staying on one leg, working 3 exercises, 3 different exercises designed to target that leg. So this is just for balance. You're not going to put too much weight on it. We are first going to work your left foot, or your left leg, I should say, left glute in particular. So you're going to put all your weight on that foot. The right foot barely taps behind you. So I'm going to turn so you can see this a little bit better. Single leg squat. You're not going to put any weight on the back foot, but you're going to bend like you're squatting. I want you to notice I'm not letting my knee go past the toe. My heel is staying on the floor. This is as low as my squat can go, and that's totally fine. Okay, no weight on the right foot, all the weight on the left foot, holding on for balance, squat down and up. You should feel it firing up your left glute. All right? From there, we'll transition into the hinge. I'll talk about that when we get there. 30 seconds for this. Go. This is also sometimes called a skater squat. If this isn't hard enough for you, you could not let that back foot touch altogether. That's a full skater squat. I like to keep my toe tapped down because it helps me keep my balance. Come on down, chest stays up, push through the heels, squeeze your butt at the top. Again, no weight on this toe. It's just there for balance, or maybe you're even lifting it up to make it harder. From here, set that toe down. Now you're gonna hinge, pushing your butt back and lifting back up. So big bend in the hip, very small bend in the knee. Go. So we went from a squat, which was big bend in the knee, big bend in the hip, to a hinge, which is a big bend in the hip and a little bend in the knee. You can also do these lifting the leg in the back, but I find that if you keep the foot down, you target the glutes a little bit better. Notice my back is flat when I tip forward. Just holding on to this for balance. So we haven't given that left glute a break. It should be burning, I hope. Come on up. I'm going to turn to the front so you can see this better. Soft bend in this knee. Your right leg goes back to the corner. Lift, lift, go. 30 seconds. So this leg is holding you up. It should be burning a little bit because we worked it twice. Now it's stabilizing. We're getting a little extra work in the hip here by lifting our heel back to the corner. Are you feeling this? Okay, just checking. 5 seconds. Slow and controlled. Don't rush these. And shake it out, shake it out. Everything we just did, we have to do on the other leg. So switch. Now the focus is on the right. Now remember, squat, big bend in the knee, big bend in the hip, chest stays up. When we hinge, small bend in the knee, big bend in the hip, chest comes forward. Okay, starting with the squat, all the weight's on the right leg, left foot barely taps behind. 30 seconds, use this for balance as you need it. You come down and back up, go. So my right ankle has more flexibility than my left, so I can actually get a little bit lower on this side. Again, only go as low as you feel comfortable. You want to make sure your knee doesn't go past your toe. You want to make sure your heel doesn't come off the floor. Remember, no weight on this back foot. You can even lift it off the ground if you want to make this harder. Again, it's a squat, chest up. Now we hinge. You can set your toe down, tip forward at the hip with a flat back, and then come on up. Ready? 30 seconds, go. So keeping in mind, if you wanted to make this harder, your full single leg hinge, you can lift that leg up in the back if you want. I like to keep my toe down. I feel like it helps me target that glute just a little bit better. Again, we've not really given your right leg a break, so hopefully you're feeling some burning back here. One more thing to do, we got those corner leg lifts. Hang on. Okay, keep this knee just a little bit soft. This is your stabilizing leg. Straighten the left leg and it lifts back to the corner. Squeeze your butt, bring it back down, go. One thing to notice, I'm tipped forward just a little bit. I'm like here. Just make sure you're not doing this. Okay, don't rest your weight on the chair. Keep your chest lifted. Lift that heel to the back corner. This is the end of block 3. You've got 5 seconds. Hang on. You getting a cramp back there? And relax. Shake it out, shake it out. Back to the floor. More ab work. I'm going to come back to my mat. Again, totally optional. Plank shoulder tap. You can do this on your toes. You can do it on your knees. It just needs to be slow and controlled. I'm going to show you from the front first. Whether you're on your toes or knees, take them wide. That's going to help keep you stable. This is all about not letting your core rotate and not letting your hips turn. So I'm going to start on my toes. Wrists are right under the shoulders. Got my feet wide. Tap, bring it down. Tap, bring it down. Notice when I lift my arm, I am not turning my body. Hips stay stable. If you're on your knees, same thing. Your knees are wide because that's going to keep you stable. Lift, lower down. Okay. By the way, word of the week, if you're watching this after the fact, is plank. All right? She's laughing. It's plank. We're doing plank shoulder taps. Here we go. 30 seconds. Come on up. This is an anti-rotation movement. Okay, again, it's all about not letting your hips turn. We're making your plank unstable by coming up to one arm. So make sure you're not turning and breaking your plank like this. Hip bones pointing down to the floor. 10 seconds. Remember, you can be down on your knees. 3, 2, 1. Lower your stomach to the floor. Locust lift. Your feet can stay down. We're just going to lift the upper part of your body. Your hands can be behind or they can be in front to make it harder. Lift your chest, lower down. So this is our lower back work. Lift, lower down. This is basically half of locust pose. We're only lifting the chest, not worrying about the feet, because we're giving your glutes a little bit of a break. We're really focusing on the lower back here. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. Done. Next up, bear crawl. Get in a bear position, shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips, tuck your toes, bring your knees off the floor. You're holding that tabletop position. Start here. If this feels good, you want to make it harder, walk forward, 4 steps, then walk back. 4 steps, keeping your butt down, keeping that tabletop position. If that's too hard, you just hang out here. You've got less than 10 seconds. Okay, make sure your butt doesn't come up in the air. Keep your head up, look straight ahead. Walk your bear if you can. Rest. We're gonna do all that again. I'll give you a little bit of a break here. I am sweating a little bit. Okay, block 4. We're gonna repeat everything you just did. 30 seconds again. Shake out your wrists, give them a little bit of a break. Wipe the sweat off your face. You're sweaty like me. Plank, shoulder taps. Round 2, come on down. Ready. Wrist under shoulder, your feet or your knees are wide. Go. Up. So again, watch your plank. You're not here. You're not here with your butt up in the air. If you need to, come down to the knees, tap, set it down, tap, set it down. Halfway there, 15 seconds. When mom gets tired, she starts to make really angry noises. 3, 2, 1. Belly on the ground. Straighten the legs. Bring the arms behind, or remember, you can bring them forward and do this if you want to make it harder. Let's lift just the chest. Lift, lower down. I want you to inhale when you lift. So you're pressing your belly against the floor. That's going to give your abs a little bit of support. So inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Here we go. Bear pose with a walk if you can. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck your toes. Your knees barely come off the floor. Go. You can hold here, or if you walk, little steps, making sure you can keep a flat back. In other words, I don't want you doing this. I've seen people call that a bear crawl. That is not a bear crawl. Okay, you've got to keep your butt down. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And rest. We have one more thing to do. So your last drill is what's called an AMRAP, A-M-R-A-P, as many rounds as possible. So 2 minutes, you're gonna do 2 moves, 5 reps of each, and kind of like the ladder drill we did, you're just gonna repeat, except you're gonna do the same amount of reps each time, which is 5. So step 1, high plank to low plank, also known as a plank staircase. Plank on your wrists, down to a plank on your elbows. You can be on your knees for this. I'll show you from the side. You're up in a plank. I would take your feet wide here as well. Down, down, up, up. That's 1. That's 2. If you're on your knees, you're just doing the same thing. Now remember which arm you're leading with, because I want you to switch every time you come back to this. So 5 of those, then you flip it over. We're gonna work your butt one more time with a bridge. Bend the knees, hands next to the hips. Lift your hips, squeeze your butt, lower down. 5 bridges. 5 high-low planks. 5 bridges. Repeat, repeat, repeat. for 2 minutes and see how many rounds you can do. And then we're done. You ready? You didn't say yes. All right, mom's ready. Let's go. Remember which arm you lead with. I'm going to start with my right. Down, down, up, up. Bonus, you're getting a little tricep work here because that tricep has to work to push you back up into that plank. You're going at your own pace here. Take your time. Rest as you need to. You're not competing with anybody but yourself. Remember, bridge, lift up, push the heels into the floor, squeeze the butt, hands down by your sides, focusing on the glutes here. You finish, you bring yourself up, you flip over, start again. I'm gonna go left hand now. Remember, just try to remember and alternate which arm is leading in the high-low plank. That way they'll get equal tricep work. And remember, you'll be on your knees. You're 1 minute down, 1 minute to go. Down, down, up, up. "45 seconds. Flipping it over. 5 glute bridges. Come on, home stretch. We're almost done here. 25 seconds. Remember, if you're on your toes or on your knees, take your feet wide. It'll help keep you from turning your hips. 15 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. I did get a little out of breath and sweaty, more than I expected. Come on up. Butts and guts, glute work, core work, quick stretch. I'm actually gonna use your chair to help you stretch. So bring that chair in close. We'll do a quick quad stretch because we do work your entire leg with all those squats. When you do the quad stretch, knees together, chest stays up nice and tall. Go ahead and release. So, hamstring stretch first. Take that same leg, just prop your heel up on the chair. If you're tight, this might be enough. If you need more of a hamstring stretch, then you can start to tilt forward until you feel it right here in the back of your leg. And release, hip stretch. We're gonna do this seated. Have a seat in your chair. Take that same leg, bring the ankle up and over the knee into a figure 4 position. This might be enough. If you need more, you want to feel it right here in the side of the hip and those abductors. You can lean forward to intensify the stretch. And come on up. Shake out that leg. Same thing, other side. Quad stretch first. Grab that foot, bring the knees together. Hang in here for just a second. And release. Shake it out using your chair. Prop that leg up there. This might be enough. If you need more, tilt forward. This is as far as I can go before I start to feel a little stretch back here in my hamstring. And come on up, moving into your hip stretch. Have a seat again. That makes this stretch much easier. Take that same leg, ankle goes over the knee. Figure 4 position. You might already be feeling it in your hip. You can stay here, or you can start to lean forward to intensify that stretch. And we'll do one more thing. We'll do some standing cat-cows. Kind of rinse out your spine, as I like to say, after all those planks. Come on up. You can actually use your chair for this as well. So I'll show you with the chair and without. Put your hands on it. So now you've got a nice flat tabletop. You can lift your butt, lift your chest. This would be a standing cow pose. And then push the chair away, standing cat pose. Inhale, exhale. If you don't have a chair, you just put your hands on your thighs and you do the same thing. Inhale, exhale. And go ahead and round your back and then come all the way up. Last thing, quick side bend stretch. So we're stretching out your obliques. Inhale up, grab your left wrist with your right hand, and then reach over to the right. Inhale, bring it up. Switch, left hand grabs the right wrist, and then reach over to the left. Inhale up, bring it down, roll the shoulders out. Give me one more inhale up and down. You guys are done. 30 minutes, butts and guts, glutes and core work. Here's my mom.
Thanks, Allison.